What secret could ruin your life? That until a week ago I was a heroin user. I'd lose my kid, my family, my job, everything. Finally just finished the worst of the detox. Here's to keeping on keeping on. I don't think I'll ever tell them, even though I'm currently clean and have no desire to go back. Duck, is it hard to go through it completely alone? Edit. Thanks all for the support. It means a lot. Second edit. Figured I'd update y'all. Over second weekend. Doing ducking fantastic. I barely even think about it anymore. Keeping myself busy with work. Third edit. It's been a month since I first posted this. I'm still sober. Life is awesome. I love my new job and newfound social life. Met a pretty rad chick. Life is ducking good. Fourth edit. 07/18/2017. At 80 days sober. Life is amazing. I really appreciate y'all for continuing to check in. I've told my family they are supportive and want to see this through. Ex was just arrested on felony possession charges. This was absolutely a blessing I got out of there when I did. Thankfully she is in rehab. Fifth edit. Over 100 days in and doing awesome. Even under a lot of stress. Hurt my back again. Not bad, but enough to jiv scene. All will be well in a week. I straight out refused any opiate they were willingly throwing at me. It was so ducking hard, but I can't risk it. It's too soon. Sixth update. Just shy of 180 days and still going strong. So many of you check in with me on a frequent basis. I appreciate it so much. My life is amazing. Please, if you know an addict, ask if they are okay and listen. It changes things immensely to know that someone cares. If anyone needs to talk or needs helps, please feel free to contact me at any time. You are not alone. Update the 29th of January 2018. I'm assuming this thread was cross-posted to a new thread because I have folks reaching out all day. Thank you all for reaching out. Means a lot. Yes, I'm still sober. I'm coming on a year now without sliding back. Life is awesome. And while I can't say I don't still think about it, I've made no attempt to seek it out, nor do I want to. If you are thinking about quitting opiates and need advice or just want some information, feel free to PM me. You can do it. Life is so much better without it. Final edit 04/22/2018 sober officially a year. Duck, yes. I know it's a ridiculous thing to celebrate, but here I am, and life is amazing. If anyone needs help, reach out, even to me. I'll do whatever I can to get you there. It can be done on your own. Appreciate all of the support. 15 years ago, between jobs, I took a short-term gig helping a large gay porn company, assisting them resolving some performance issues on their website. It was supposed to be only 2 weeks. That was 15 years ago. No one in my extended family knows that I work in gay porn, let alone know that I'm in charge of everything except video production. I was sexually assaulted by my parents' neighbors, a father and son. The son was in his teens, I was 8. They used to put me in this walk-in closet and have showtime. I never realized what was happening until several years after we had moved from my grandmother's house in Phoenix to Houston. Fast forward 20 years goes by and I have a daughter of my own. She's 4 and we decided to visit grandma in good old Valley of the Sun. We get there and a few days pass and one day my daughter's outside with her older cousins playing. I step outside to check on her and I'm greeted with that same ducking neighbor's son holding my daughter giving her raspberries while his dad is playing with the other's cousins. Something clicked. More like a twitch in my mind, something tipped me just a nudge. But it started something. I walked outside, grabbed my daughter, and corralled the kids, and made my presence known. That tipping point sent me into a emotional spiral of brooding thoughts. In white collar, I make my money off of thinking. I'd never say this to real life human, nor will I ever give the details of how I did it. But several months after our visit with grandma, my wife thought I had another work training, when in fact I came back to Phoenix. I burned their home to the ground. Everything was lost except for the master bedroom and walk-in closet. P.S. A well-placed anonymous tip does amazing things to duck up someone's life. They both survived, unfortunately. I swear to God I've hoped I've done enough good in my life to earn at least one wish. That would be to meet those low-life maggot creepers in hell and be their eternal tormentor. I look at my daughter every day and know she gave me the strength I needed as an adult I didn't have as a child. This won't ruin me because I've already went no contact with my mom, but it still hurts and is a big secret I've not told anyone. When I was a kid, I had asthma pretty bad. So, I'd be up all night, coughing constantly. My mom and I lived with her parents. We shared a room, so I slept in her bed often. When I was a toddler, mom would come home from work and lay down for bed, but I'd keep her awake with my coughing. Sometimes at night I'd be coughing, and she would hug me, so tight that I couldn't breathe. It would really distress me that I couldn't breathe, but I knew mom loved me so much, and I didn't want to tell her she was literally squeezing me to death, because I was afraid of hurting her feelings. So I'd just tell her that I loved her so much, and she would cry pretty hard after that. Took me years, after having my own kid, and treating him gently to figure out that it's actually pretty difficult to squeeze a kid so hard that they couldn't breathe. Mom is bipolar and has had other incidents of hurting people and abandoning those in her care that need medication and can't take care of themselves. So I finally put it together and figured out mom would be so agitated with my asthma that she would try to stop me from coughing by squeezing me almost to death. And then she would cry out of guilt when I told her I loved her. My dad probably sexually abused me when I was a kid. I say probably because I don't actually remember it, but all the signs were there. I used to not want to clean/touch my genital area, and once I had blood in my panties. My period started many years later, just to name a few. Apparently he drugged me to make me sleep and then do whatever he did. The case went to court, but they decided there wasn't enough proof, so he wasn't charged. My mom was granted full custody though. I don't really feel like it was my fault, but I definitely feel disgusting. I mean, it's about the most disgusting thing a person could do. I don't really know what the point of writing this was, but it feels a bit liberating to be able to say it. I hope anybody who's gone through similar things isn't doing too badly. When I was about 5 years old, my sister, 2 years old, and I were in the backyard in a kiddie pool. When my mom went inside, I attempted to drown my sister. After I saw her lifeless, I realized that it was a big mistake, pulled her out of the pool, and called for my mom. Luckily she knew CPR, and she was life-flighted to the hospital. My mom thanked me for saving her, pulling her out of the pool. Next week was my birthday. The police, firefighters, paramedics came to my house to give me gifts and celebrate my birthday. To this day 20 years later, I still think about it. I remember the day so vividly, not a soul knows the real truth. I forged my high school transcripts to get into university. I can't even think about the consequences to my actions if anyone were to ever find out. I'm 3 weeks shy of graduating with a degree in biology. I'm using a proxy to access websites that are blocked. I live in an Islamic country, so if the police find out about it, I could get arrested. I own accounts on multiple sites dedicated to taking down child pornographers. If anyone knew who I was, I imagine there would be a lot of perverts wanting revenge, and I don't want to put anyone at risk. When I was 10, my cousin sexually molested me during a sleepover at my aunt's house. My aunt walked in on her molesting me and took me away from her. However, since that day it was never talked about within my family, and everyone acts like that day never existed. A similar thing happened to me when I was about 6, and he was 13. He didn't get caught, but my grandmother figured it out when I started drawing detailed male genitalia on characters in newspaper cartoons. The whole family just doesn't talk about it, and I didn't figure out myself till a scent memory of the strain of indica weed he was high on when he did it triggered the memory to flood back when I was 22. On the outside, I'm a happily married 30-something, about to buy a house, in sync with my wife on most things like religion, kids, that things will get better for us, etc. In reality, I'm a deeply depressed, secret alcoholic, which I fear is already adversely affecting my health, but I can't stop, don't believe in any higher power anymore, and derive little or no pleasure or satisfaction from anything. Most of this started with a sudden and untimely death of my mom. and some other family drama that happened around the same time. While I was in university, I powered my way through there because I was encouraged to by those around me, even though I wanted so badly to drop out. This is also about the time I started abusing alcohol. I barely drank at all before. My family is rather scattered now, living in different states. My wife and I are close, but I have been unable to find or make new meaningful friends as an adult in the city I moved to for a job. I'm so stressed, I feel pins and needles in my brain/head and tongue constantly, and drink heavily, 5 to 10 drinks/units per day most of the time, sometimes more. I can hold off if I'm traveling or around family, or in a situation where I can't drink at all. I don't even get really that drunk visibly anymore, which is why I think I hide it well from my wife. There is usually an empty vodka bottle hidden in my briefcase by the time she gets back from work, and I have usually poured my first glass of wine by then to mask that I have already been drinking. I get home from work earlier than she. She thinks I'm as happy and fulfilled as she, and excited and ready to have kids and start a family, etc. etc. In truth, I'm just numb to this world. I try to love her, I think I do, and expend all of my energy keeping up the facade and affection for her. But apart from that, I have zero energy or desire for anything. I used to be athletic and still look decent, but my physical shape is fading fast. I don't have or enjoy any hobbies. I just wake up, go to work, drink when I can, and mark off the days as I get older and closer to eventually dying. I don't know what to do. Tried therapy back in the day, and meds didn't seem to help. I just am trying to make life okay for the people around me who I don't want to see be like me inside, mostly my wife. But beyond that, I feel like I have totally missed the boat and am past satisfaction or having any meaningful place in the world. Hope someone reads this. Peace. I'm in serious debt because of a drug addiction I used to have, of which my family didn't know I had. I'm almost 2 years clean now, but I can hardly pay any bills I have, and I'm afraid to ask any family member for money because I know I can't pay them back in the near future. Reddit. THNX for all the kind words, guys and gals. Sadly, here in the Netherlands, declaring bankruptcy isn't as easy. You have to have certain points going for and against you to actually declare it, as far as I know. As for the people talking about sending something to help, PLZ, if you want to help, send it to some sort of charity that helps addicted to get and stay clean. Because for me, even though I have it rough, the people still fighting this have it 10x rougher. I want my sister to die. Physically, I couldn't kill her. I'm not homicidal, but I wouldn't be upset if she were wiped off the earth under any circumstance. She was horrible to me as kids, but then she changed when we got older and we became very close. I noticed though that she always had some kind of victim around. A couple years ago, I found out her daughter had been repeatedly raped by her stepdad, my sister's husband. My sister knew about the abuse and did nothing until my niece found help on her own. It's destroyed my family. We all hate my sister to some degree, but no one as much as me. And I have to pretend to be nice because she has 2 little girls with her husband and I need to stay close to them. I have my niece living with me and she needs to have a life with her sisters. She and her mom are no contact. So I suck it up and deal. But I constantly wish my sister would die and leave us in peace. Cops, court, CPS are all involved, so I'm not worried about her other daughters being assaulted until my sister picks up some other scumbag asshole after the trial is over and the scumbag is locked away. I want to get my 2 other nieces away from her. My sister is cruel and abusive, and I think she's chosen her middle child as the next victim to bully and gaslight and make the focus of all her problems. There's intense therapy for all my nieces and even my sister, but she's faking it and everyone can tell. Unfortunately, she's learned enough tricks to keep the rest of her kids. But I want her dead. Her husband too, but at least he'll be in jail. I feel bad for the little girls. They still love both their parents. They know what happened to a certain degree and it's conflicting for their little minds. I'd rather have them grow up mourning their parents than grow up and figure out how monstrous these people are. I can't tell anyone how I really feel because the anger and violence and rage I feel are frightening, and I can't keep it in check once I start talking. But I wish for her death every day. I'd prefer something painful and violent like a car accident or something awful like cancer, but I'd take anything. She has served her purpose in life. I'm terrified about what her toxicity will do to her other daughters, and how her poison has spread through the family. As much as I would like for my sister to suffer from physical pain, it won't affect her mental state. She is cruel and cold to the bone. Her daughters are beautiful, intelligent, funny, creative, and brave. But they are also becoming reckless. They have started stealing from stores. They lie without compunction and fight each other with the cruelty they learned from their mom. Therapy will help mitigate some of their mom's influence, but she undermines their therapy all the time. So there's nothing I can do. I stay in touch with her kids. I pretend to be friendly enough, so my sister can use me for breaks where I'm pretty sure she goes on dates with her ex-husband. He's out on bond and even gets supervised visits with his kids. I offer all the love and understanding to her kids. I'm super careful to not saying in front of them. That would piss their mom off. But I have to sit back and watch as she slowly destroys her 2 remaining girls with a 1,000 cuts. It hurts so bad. Her girls have beds at my house. I'm ready at a moment's notice for them to come live with me. I just want their mom to die and I'm powerless. Since nobody knows who I'm on this account, I will say it here. There is an autistic kid at school. He keeps telling me he is going to shoot up the school. Constantly asks if I want it. I always get scared and say no. He says he will not shoot me and shoot girls so I can have them. He says he wants to join ISIS and become a terrorist. The thing is that he is either making really dark jokes or he is just very mentally handicapped. I would feel like garbage if I told on him, because I don't want the autistic kid to get in trouble. He might not know what he is talking about, but at the same time, if he does something I don't think I would be able to live with myself. Edit. I'm going to tell my dean, I promise. I appreciate you all telling me what I should do. Update. I'm at school right now. When the day ends, I'm going to go talk to the dean and the principal. Update. The 2nd of May, 1:58 p.m. I went to the dean's office after school today and she was not there. I assume she went to the school's main office for something, so I just left an anonymous letter. I have no idea where the principal was and had to get on my bus home, so I left. The dean probably will see the note. Update. The 3rd of May. I didn't see the kid in school today. I assume he got suspended or is in jail. I honestly don't know. I hope he is getting help. Update. 4. I don't think he is at school anymore. I haven't seen him and nobody hasn't talked about him. I assume he is expelled or suspended. Not entirely sure. I feel incredibly bad about telling on him though. This question always makes me wonder about the horrible secrets that people can't bring themselves to talk about, even in a semi-anonymous place like Reddit. The people here who have spoken up already have pretty intense secrets. Just imagine the secrets that go unshared. My oldest son committed suicide in 2015. He shot himself in the head. Every day I talk myself out of putting myself in dangerous situations where I could possibly be killed or hurt because I miss him so badly and want to be with him. Edit. Thank you so much for the words of support and encouragement both here and in private messages. I appreciate all the thoughts. I want to assure everyone concerned that I'm indeed seeing a therapist regularly and doing okay, and I spend as much time with my younger son as possible. He's graduating high school next month and is a sunshine and joy, and through him my oldest boy lives on. I'm humbled by the care and concern I've received from so many strangers. You guys are incredible. The plain truth is that I can't deal with the pain of the disease. My daughters can't accept that I'm so sick. My husband can't conceive of losing me. But I'm sick, and I'm going to die. And I'd be at peace if they could be okay without me. But I'm gonna miss my grandbabies. They are so lovely. Baby Teddy is so perfect. Most people are under the impression that I do very well when it comes to talking to women. But not only have I not had actual sex in months, but the last time I did have sex I was raped. I was out of town and I stumbling home from a bar. I was so drunk that I couldn't find my hotel, so I decided to hitchhike. A guy picked me up and took advantage of me. I was so drunk that I only remember bits and pieces. I can't remember his face either. It doesn't really affect me that much because I try to pretend it never happened. When I do think about it though, It does hurt a lot. I never thought it would happen to me. I was so wrong. Edit. The amount of support I'm getting from all of you is unbelievable. This really made my month already. Thank you all so much. When I was 23 I finally found out why we would always leave the family parties if a certain great uncle showed up. Turns out he had molested his own children for years. Then he adopted younger children every few years and did it more. He eventually went to jail in the 80s and 90s and people would still take his kids to visit him in jail. They hated it. Anyways, I find out later that we would always leave fast because he molested my mother when she was a child, around 4 or 5 years old. My family is close and that made me rage. And then I find out that he had recently been in trouble again, got similar things. Found him on the 6 offenders list. Went to his house at night, knocked in his door, and asked if I looked familiar. I beat the shit out of him and took money and some values. Threatened him, left. No one knows to this day. He made up a story on what happened to him. Apparently he still goes to family events. Edit. That's the basic summary. If anyone wants full details of how I knew he was home, how it went down, I'll see if anyone is curious in a bit, so I can share more. Also note I'm not proud of this necessarily, but this man walks free, and I'm glad he can now live afraid for a while because he should. Edit 2. Full story in a reply here. I've been sexually abused more times than I can count. When I was 5 to 6 years old staying at my grandma's house, I woke up to her boyfriend's hand in my underwear. When I was 10 my stepdad would put his hand up my shirt and in my pants when he'd get me to sit on his lap. Starting when I was 13 I would stay at a friend's house a lot because her dad would let us drink and smoke pot. It took 2 to 3 years of this before I realized what was happening. I would wake up in her bed never remembering how the night before had ended with my underwear cut along the crotch. He'd be drugging my drinks and doing God knows what. By this point I'd become hypersexualized. At 16 I had a 28-year-old boyfriend. I had a threesome with him and his friend a few times. The last time I saw his friend paying him hundreds of dollars when they thought I was busy. Almost a year ago I got too drunk at my birthday and fell asleep waiting for the bus. I woke up to cops saying they had arrested someone for sexually assaulting me because some kind strangers called them. I still don't know how far he got.